Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Strategic Command World War II, World at War. It is November 1942, and we are on the verge of taking Batavia and the Dutch East Indies, only about 6 months behind schedule. I'm hoping we can finish that up next turn. And then we're also hopefully soon going to be taking Singapore. I know my troops are low on supply, and they're not really in a position to finish these guys off in the next turn or so, but my bombardment and destruction of the infrastructure in Singapore should cut the supply off from the British, so that hopefully next turn they have nothing to counter with. Meanwhile, in China, we're holding in the south against the British, Indian, and Chinese forces there. In the north, we've taken Chongqing, and we're pushing inland toward Chengdu, and we're also pushing inland toward Tianshui, hopefully to get to Langkao, the Chinese alternate capital. And if we take that, then there's one more capital to take here near Umrichi. In the north, we're having some success. Finally, we took the city of Patao, and we're now driving west to deal with the sort of scattered forces out in this direction. We could theoretically get in behind the lines of Langkao. Additionally, we need to turn north and deal with the Chinese communists at Xi'an, and I'm hoping that my air units are soon going to be in good weather so that they can bomb the hell out of these troops in the north. But yeah, that's the current situation. Why don't we move some of these guys forward? Okay, I think that's probably about ideal. I don't know what their range is, so I don't want to get them too far away. Yeah, so anyway, that's the current situation in China. Meanwhile, in Europe, we're on the doorstep of Moscow, but it is also the verge of winter. So this turn we took a liberty to reinforce a lot of our units and prepare for the winter and potential Soviet counterattack therein. Additionally, we did cut off some of these troops here in the north of Russia, near the Tallinn, I don't know what that is, peninsula, whatever. But we did advance some troops up here to kind of cut some of these troops off. They still have supply from the city and port of Tallinn, but at least it may hurt supply somewhat. I also meant to reinforce Finland. We got a garrison unit in place. We have a second one also coming up. And then we have some Finnish troops that we're trying to sneak in here and get in behind the attacking Soviet troops. Additionally, we cut off a Red Army corps here in the north, and I'm hoping that they run out of supply next turn, and that allows us to destroy these guys, and then maybe drive south, destroy the Soviet air unit, and cut off this advancing Soviet corps. We'll see. In France, defensive status as usual. Probably don't have enough troops in France. We could force march these guys to Le Havre along the coast. Do we need anyone in Brussels? It does say there are partisans there. So I'd rather have them on the coast in France than on the interior at like Nancy. Additionally, we're moving Italian and German naval units into the Mediterranean, basically vacating the North Atlantic, because the Americans have moved their navy, or at least a portion of it, into the Mediterranean and have started pounding the Italian fleet there, doing some considerable damage, destroying a destroyer, badly damaging a heavy cruiser, but we nearly destroyed an American army at sea, and we also badly handled an American cruiser, so we'll see how that plays out. I think we also have the straits blocked from additional American units, but we'll see. In North Africa, we've cut off a British corps here near El Agheila, and our garrison units should hopefully be able to finish it off next turn. And meanwhile, we're at the doorstep to Cairo, so if we get good enough weather for our bombers to fly, then hopefully we'll be able to hit these guys pretty hard. I should fly these guys over here or somewhere else. And then move this headquarters unit forward so we can get better supply forward to our troops. All right, so I think that's going to do it for this turn. We'll see what happens here as we move into December, and hopefully good things. Soviet national morale falls with the loss of Rostov. Oh, I forgot we're advancing into the Caucasus. Would you like our ships to continue? Yes, into the Mediterranean. Communist partisans mobilize a unit near Langkow? That sucks. Oh no, more American heavy cruisers. Level 11, too. That's concerning. We'll see how many naval assets the Americans have deployed to the Mediterranean. They might well wipe out with our Navy, what's left of our Navy. We've been fighting the British Navy for so long, and now I think this may be the end of the line for the Italian and German fleets. USA declares war on Algeria. Vichy France severs all diplomatic relations with the Allies. There's the capital of Algiers. There's a fresh level 10 American landing force. They may well take Algiers this turn. American battleship level 11. That's new. So a level 11 battleship and a level 11 cruiser. Yikes. Winter in northern China probably means we're going to be slowed down a bit there. Meanwhile, snowfall is starting in the Soviet Union. New Chinese corps being raised, swapping out troops in Moscow for a counterattack against German troops to their front. Soviets are railing some troops around. Apparently with us putting troops in front of them at Helsinki, they may be pulling back. Interesting. Where are they sending all these troops to? Are they just going to raise new ones in these fortifications? Are they sending them to the south to deal with the advance into the Caucasus? The world wonders. And we shall soon discover. Okay, Soviet naval action against our subs. Not very successful for them, mind you. British carriers continue to duel us in the Java Sea and then run away. Fortunately for us, our aircraft are superior to theirs, and their air wings are being badly handled. American heavy cruiser driving back our boys, then trying to bombard. Whoa! Well, at least we did 50% damage. No, there goes the battleship. There goes the battleship. There goes the BB. Ah, fuck. And we can't get our other two ships into the Mediterranean until next turn because of the stupid one-turn transfer rule. It doesn't matter. They're just going to die as soon as they get there. Jesus, this is a strong U.S. Navy. Shouldn't I have destroyed all your battleships at Pearl? Fort Blair. Alright, Soviet mechanized troops attacking near Tallinn. Soviet troops counterattacking our mechanized troops here south of Moscow. British Indian troops attacking to the south of Kiu Tao, or however you pronounce that. Nice. Alright, so those attacks on that little bit of a salient here in the south didn't go over well for the Soviets there. Their shock army is advancing closer to us, though. Let's just hope there's no snowstorm. I really hope our planes can fly next turn. This is a bit of an exposed flank, by the way, too, but if we can race our armor south here, we can potentially cut these guys off. Granted, we'd still have to deal with the fortifications in Sevastopol. Sorry, Sevastopol? Why do I call it Sevastopol? I'm so bad with pronunciations. Where did they go? Did they run away? Ah! Soviet armor! Flank attack! Near Rezhev! And American mechanized troops. I was really hoping I was going to be able to torpedo those guys while they were at sea. But it looks like they've landed at least 3 ground units here in North Africa. Which means there's really no purpose to our Navy hanging out here because they're just going to take the capital next turn. We need to race troops west to Tripoli to try and set up a defensive position against the Americans who are going to advance into Tunisia soon. So the situation in North Africa just got a lot worse real fast. I don't understand where the Soviets are moving all these troops to. I'm assuming they're going to build new troops here in the next few minutes and fill up the capital, but it feels like they just half evacuated Moscow. It's really weird. I'm also hoping for good weather over the Java Sea so we can use our air units against the Dutch troops at Batavia. Okay, so there you can see they just filled in some of those units that they moved. Cockshell Heroes. British Royal Marines attack shipping at Bordeaux. Okay. At the very least, we made the OSS agents coordinate attack on Vichy forces in Algeria. Okay. Did we just get a free fighter? I mean, I'd rather have ground units than fighter aircraft right now in this theater. But it does look like the Roma battleship sunk. All right. So Algiers is now on our side. U.S. troops land in North Africa. They haven't taken the city yet, though. So this is all I get. I get one fighter aircraft. Oh, joy. Because that's going to be useful for us. Can I attack him from over here? Looks like it. I can't reach. Can we sink this American battleship? God damn it. And I got my guy destroyed. Any chance he's in range of the carrier now? No. Okay. Here's the other thing is I don't know if the carrier actually, like, can they, I think they can move right through the channel and attack us, right? I'm not really sure. I don't really want to spend 75 points to operate these guys. But if it means I get these fighters anywhere I want, I don't know where I want them. That's the question. I'm guessing they'll go away as soon as Vichy surrenders. But maybe not. Who knows? We'll see. It's probably a waste of 75. Okay. Looks like Finland's being evacuated by the Soviets. Or at least they're pulling back. Why can we not? These guys should have no supply. We can't do anything against them? Defensive AA fire. Well, at least we didn't forget about Finland this time, guys. I'm all over Finland this time. Alright, so we do have good enough weather. Looks muddy. It's not really fully frozen yet. So we do have weather that'll let us bomb these jerks. What is this? A level 3 entrenchment. I'd really prefer to get a broad front before we try and go at Moscow. So let's do this. Let's bomb this fort. Maybe we can destroy this enemy unit and this enemy fort. Katyusha rockets. They are no match for the skill and determination of our soldiers. Here's a question. Do we want to attack without doing that? Swap this unit here. Can these guys still move? They have 1 action point, so they really probably can only attack. All right, let's use the Stuka here. Nice! Destroyed the fortifications by combat. And then we can move the armor forward. Although I prefer to keep the armor off the front. It does look like our best option at this point, I think. So we'll move these guys forward here. So we destroyed that Soviet unit. Let's see where we're at. I know we've been kind of tracking the attrition rate. They were at 78 at the end of last turn, so they were obviously at 81 at the start of this turn. 77 is the lowest I've seen it, at least since I've sort of been keeping an eye on it. I probably should have dealt with these guys up here. Now I can't reach them with anyone. Reinforce these guys here. They're dug in, aren't they? Nice. We did quite a bit of damage to that shock army up there. Question is, do I want to advance against these guys? Move these guys forward to this town, which is right on the front. I guess we can try strafing these guys. Damn, we lost quite a bit of... Wait, they intercepted us twice? They have a tech that lets them do that now or something? Kinda had hoped for some sort of reaction. Well, damn it. That's another Russian unit. That's like a level that's gonna just barely survive. I mean, if I was min-maxing, I'd probably like load a save game or something, but prefer not to do that. Alright, so we'll do this. We won't actually destroy these guys, but we should at least attrit them enough to cause the Soviets, hopefully, to spend a large amount of their reinforcements on that. Then we'll go ahead and bomb this unit here, which is in a bit of an exposed position. These guys all already attacked. So we'll attack with the mech infantry. Nice. Enemy unit destroyed. Danger, Will Robinson. Alright, so we'll move this unit forward here. Finish off, or hopefully finish off these Katyusha rockets. Yes, we do! Destroy the fortifications to the east of Moscow here with ground combat. I could force march these guys here adjacent to Moscow. I'd rather not. We can force march these guys up, though. We will do that. Move a corps up there. So we've destroyed another Soviet unit here. These guys have one strike left, but I'd rather not do anything there. Pull these back. So as long as they don't advance along this river line into this gap between our two troops, we should be okay there. This tank doesn't look like it's going to be able to get to the front to face anyone. So I think what we do here is we just sort of force drive it up here to the front, and then we'll hopefully be able to leverage it next turn. This should buffer this tank unit here, which is on the verge of destruction, from being able to be bombed or destroyed. And I think that does it for the northern front, which we destroyed a couple units and badly damaged 2 other units here. So hopefully their money all goes into reinforcing those 3, this unit, and this unit. Otherwise, we'll destroy them next turn, frankly. Meanwhile, in the south, what are we going to do in the south? Are we going to drive for the oil wells? Problem is we're kind of overextended down here. These troops are too good to be used haphazardly, so move them forward here. We can probably take Salsk. So we just took this Soviet town. Can we bomb these guys? We can. They're currently entrenched at level 1, so we can knock that down. Move our mech unit down here to take the oil wells at Malkop. And we'll move our armor in behind them to cut off the troops in the Crimea. Really? Didn't do anything, huh? Alright, so then these guys need to reinforce to max level 10. Okay, so... Alright, so we're advancing on Stalingrad, sort of, kind of, maybe. Not really intending to attack the city. Mainly just kind of trying to threaten it. Alright, so we've got troops along those 3. 2 here. Smolensk is open. We'll reinforce these guys in Smolensk next turn. At least for now, they'll keep the partisans down. We're going to need to shift forces back to Italy here. They're going to finish off Algeria next turn. And then we're going to really have to worry about North Africa, which I don't think we've actually done anything there yet either. So need to remember to do that. I'm curious if they have the ability to counterattack here. We've really kind of broken through in the south. The alternative capital of Kubinezhev, we could kind of pivot and drive our armor down this road pretty easily if we could take Moscow first, and kind of split the main Soviet forces here, maybe cause all these units to pull back to that new line. Maybe, I don't know. We'll reinforce these guys. Alright, so we reinforced our armor there. We should be able to reduce this town. We also took the oil fields at Malkop, which should deprive the Soviets and maybe give us 10 income. They have quite a bit of air units down here, interestingly enough. So we're going to move these guys to Rostov. We're going to move these guys up here. These guys need to reinforce. I really would rather not have a corps sitting here as a garrison. Okay, so I think that's the Soviet front. Let's take a look at the North African theater. Okay. We're attacking Cairo. Nice. And we moved into Cairo. So, the capital of Egypt has fallen. This core should be destroyed. It is. Alright, so now these guys need to get on the desert road and move west to fortify Tripoli against the eventual Allied attack. Tunisia isn't Axis yet, it doesn't look like. So they haven't advanced into Tunisia yet. Okay, so that's the North African campaign. We took Cairo just at the same time that we're about to need to pivot and drive west. I'm curious if the fall of Egypt will counter the fall of Algeria. And we're just going to have to drive all these guys a long way in the desert to deal with the American threat. I don't know what the British do here. Like, do they have a lot of troops in Palestine? Or do we have to keep troops here? Or can we maybe just throw one at the Suez Canal, bottle that up, and then, drive west with the rest of our troops? I'm not sure. We also, frankly, need to build some Italian troops here, so it might be a little bit late for that. But Italy does have some money for some soldiers. So let's build an army and purchase that. How long does the army production take? It's going to take till February. I don't know if we have that long. Okay, so they're doing that. Germany, I think, has already purchased and done everything we can do with them. So, I think... Can we upgrade these guys even though they moved? No. Okay, these guys, should they move? Alright, we've at least, in theory, these guys are going to get killed next turn, aren't they? In theory, we've cut this mechanized unit off with no landwards fortification. They're in a town, though, so they do get some. Anyway, we'll see how that works out. We need to move to China. God, these guys are better than our troops down here. Oh, none of these guys are upgraded yet. Or one of them is. Meanwhile, reinforce these guys. Let them dig in at Molman. These troops in Singapore have basically no supply. It's still raining. It's still the... monsoon. It'd be real great if we could actually destroy enemy units in our bombardments rather than just, their supply. Because there's no real supply yet left. Their morale sucks, as one would expect, of troops who are just getting blasted to crap. But we can't really do anything against them in an attack. Like, okay, we can... hit him for 1 damage. Great. We're never going to take frickin' Singapore. And it's never going to stop raining in the Dutch East Indies. Alright, let's move our other ships who haven't attacked yet. And we'll reduce the port at Batavia to drop the enemy supplies next turn if we don't take it this turn. Okay... probably won't take it this turn. Because I can't bomb the fucks. But they shouldn't have supply next turn anyway. So hopefully that means they won't be able to... See, I can't even bomb the fucker because he's in a rain squall. Alright, so Batavia maybe falls next turn? Maybe? They should have no supply, right? Maybe they've got landward supply. I don't know. That'll give the rest of the Dutch East Indies to us. We'll reinforce these guys. In Bangkok. In northern China, it's apparently monsoon season, so... Yeah, everybody's got a nice little rain squall. Reinforce these guys. Can we attack here? We can. Nice. Very nice. Shattered. Troops coming up from the south against these anti-air guns. Okay. Can't really move any of these guys yet. I mean, we can. I just mean, like... So we destroyed that unit. We're moving on Langkao. Hopefully they don't have any engineers fortifying the city. If they don't, we might be okay. Really should have moved this headquarter unit this turn. I completely forgot to bring these guys forward. Alright, so we got this. No, I thought we got it. Frustrating. I thought we had destroyed that frickin'... Ah! Alright, let's do this. Let's upgrade this. I can't upgrade the army, but I can reinforce them. Guess we'll do that. These guys back on the road. It's kind of an anticlimactic turn here for Japan. Alright, so we still have 110. What can we do with that? Do we have diplomatic chits? We do have Argentina that we can try and lure in with our money. Oh, fucking A, I clicked the wrong button. Because this game's awesome. Argentina might be a nice distraction for the Allies to have to deal with, so hopefully this 30% chance of success per turn helps. Ireland would be another nice one to incite. Syria too, especially right now. I actually think that's worth a large-scale investment in Syria right now. I know it's a lot of valuable MPPs, but if we can bring Syria to the Axis, I don't really want Tunisia on our side. That just opens up another front immediately. But if we can bring Syria specifically to our side, then that will kind of crush the British Raj here between... Not the British Raj, the British forces here between our troops in eastern North Africa and the troops up here. Maybe we could take Jerusalem and Amman. I'm not sure. In any event, Egypt should fall, which is just going to open up more fronts and things we have to defend against. But I think we'll probably start pivoting our troops back to deal with the Americans who are going to rapidly overrun us in North Africa. They don't have a way to get to us, though, until Tunisia joins. So we'll see if that happens next turn. Meanwhile, research. I should have looked at that before I spent. Advanced tanks. Insufficient funds. I need 175. Naval warfare doesn't really matter anymore. Aerial warfare doctrine's already there. The funny thing is with anti-air is I feel like the game hasn't really made it all that worthwhile. Like, there just isn't a lot for me to do with it at this stage. Germany could use another garrison unit or something like that. We can raise a cavalry division? They're cheap, too. How do they compare? So a cavalry division has 5, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2. 5, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2. So their attack values for a cavalry division pretty similar as a infantry division, or as an infantry army, actually. Defensive values are better with an army. But this is kind of interesting. This actually looks valuable. Like, I see why I would do this. So I'm going to do this. It's going to be 1943, and we're going to raise a cavalry division. So we've got heavy tanks coming in April, as well as a cavalry division. We're still a ways away from getting those, though. So, meanwhile, if we look at the actual reports, we can see the Soviets are down to 77, so they lost a lot more in terms of units than they were able to raise this turn. If we look at their graphs, I know you guys aren't a fan of my sort of body count strategy, but vastly higher expense in terms of losses this turn than what they'll get in income. Last turn, interestingly enough, it was not. Last turn they had slightly more income than losses. But you can see here almost 1,300 MPPs worth of losses. Germany, on the other hand, yeah, I mean, we're regularly below our spend level, but that's still, we don't have enough units to deal with the challenges that we're facing. I think the British, they kind of fluctuate based on what I take out of their naval units, but we'll see there. What's their national morale at? The British are down to 87. Americans are pretty strong at 92. The Soviets are at 63. They've lost a lot of national morale centers. I think they pulled a lot of their troops south. I don't know if it's a scripted thing to deal with the somewhat close proximity of our troops to Stalingrad. Might have been triggered by the fall of Rostov. But we are driving into the Caucasus, so this is somewhat historical. We just aren't, our focus isn't Stalingrad, because frankly I don't care about Stalingrad. Meanwhile, also attacking in the north. I could attack one more time with these tanks, but I have no desire to do that. Anyway, guys, I think that'll do that for this episode. Let me know if this is, what your thoughts were. Until next time, though, I'm going to go ahead and sign out tonight. Hope you guys all have a great night. And until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.